if I told you? One music video just proved that BTS isn't entering a new era quietly. They're entering it like legends in a noir film. Because this is not just a comeback visual. This is not just another stylish BTS concept. And this is definitely not just Jin looking dangerously handsome for 4 minutes straight. Because BTS's 2.0 just dropped. And somehow it feels like a movie, a rebirth, and a warning all at once. And honestly, once you notice what Jin is doing in this video, you cannot unsee it. The moment those old elevator doors open and BTS steps out in suits, it already feels different. Darker, sharper, more cinematic. It's giving old school noir. It's giving controlled chaos. It's giving you thought you knew us, but you actually haven't seen anything yet. And then there's Jin. Because from the second he appears, he doesn't just blend into the concept. He owns it. The red shirt, the black suit, the intense expression, the profile that somehow looks sculpted from every possible angle. He looks less like an idol in a music video, and more like the main character of a film people would become obsessed with for years. And that's exactly why fans can't stop talking about him. Because Jin in 2.0 isn't just handsome. He's cinematically handsome. The kind of face that doesn't just look good in still photos, it transforms the entire atmosphere of a scene. And what makes it even more insane is that he's doing all of this inside a concept that's already loaded with symbolism. Because 2.0 is not random. This whole video is built like a metaphor. It starts in a worn-down, almost gritty space, an old elevator, a rough hallway, abandoned buildings, and then slowly everything changes. The members move, the styling evolves, the space transforms, and by the end, they've arrived somewhere completely different. A glamorous penthouse, a polished world, a new version of themselves. It's basically BTS saying, you watched us build this from the ground up, and now you're watching what we've become. And honestly, that message hits even harder when you realize how intentionally the video is made. Because 2.0 pays homage to Old Boy, and BTS didn't just reference the film visually, they played with it. You've got that narrow hallway energy, that confrontational walking shot, that tension, that stylish danger. But then BTS being BTS, they flip it. Suddenly there are fake beards, unexpected props, a back scratcher, a fan, an upside-down newspaper. So in the middle of all this noir intensity, they insert humor. And that contrast, that's what makes the video feel so smart. Because BTS knows exactly how to be cool without taking themselves too seriously. They know how to look iconic while still making you laugh 2 seconds later. And somehow that balance makes them even more powerful. But if the visual storytelling is one side of 2.0, the performance is the other side that really seals it. Because this choreography is not light. It's not playful. It's not trying to be flashy for the sake of being flashy. It's heavier, more controlled, more deliberate. Every movement feels intentional. Every pause feels calculated. Every shift in tempo feels like it's there to say, this is not the BTS you met before. This is BTS after everything. After growth. After pressure. After success. After proving themselves over and over again. This is the version of BTS that already knows exactly who they are. And that's why the title 2.0 works so well. Because it doesn't feel like they're abandoning who they used to be. It feels like they're evolving into something even more solid, even more self-aware, even more dangerous, even more iconic. And Jin might be one of the clearest examples of that transformation. Because yes, his visuals are obviously unreal here. But what makes him stand out isn't just the face card. It's the presence. It's the way he watches the monitor seriously on set. It's the way his expressions feel refined and restrained. It's the way he can look elegant, intimidating, and heartbreakingly beautiful at the exact same time. There's something about Jin in this era that feels different, more precise, more magnetic, more like someone who knows exactly how powerful he is on screen. And fans are absolutely losing it over that. Because people aren't just calling him handsome, they're saying he has the kind of face and aura that could completely dominate acting too. And honestly, that conversation makes perfect sense. Because 2.0 doesn't just show Jin as an idol, it shows him as someone who can command a frame. Someone who can make people pause a video just to stare for a second longer. Someone who can make a single side profile become a full discussion online. And the wildest part? This isn't even happening in a vacuum. Because while BTS is dropping one of their most symbolic and cinematic videos, they're also dominating where it matters most. The charts. The title track Swim from their fifth studio album Arirang already hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. That means BTS just secured their 7th overall #1. 7th. At this point, it's not even surprising anymore, but somehow it still feels impossible every single time. And if that wasn't enough, the 2.0 track itself also landed on the Hot 100, which means even a bold, concept-heavy, narrative-driven song like this is still cutting through globally. That says a lot, because it proves BTS isn't only winning with catchy title tracks. They're winning with identity, with storytelling, with evolution. And then there's Jin's individual impact inside all of that. Because among the member-specific remixes of Keep Swimming, Jin's Swim with Jin has already exploded in popularity. And that matters. Because it shows that people are not just tuning into BTS as a group, they are actively gravitating toward Jin's voice, his image, his energy, and his version of the moment. Which honestly makes perfect sense. Because once you watch 2.0, you can feel it. Jin isn't just participating in this era, he's helping define what it looks like. And maybe that's the real reason this whole thing feels so exciting. Because 2.0 is not just BTS changing outfits in an elevator. It's not just a cool concept. It's not just film references. It's not just charisma and visuals and great styling. It's BTS showing you in one music video that reinvention is not something they're afraid of. It's something they've mastered. And Jin? Jin is standing right in the center of that transformation, looking like he was born for it. So if this is what BTS 2.0 looks like, what exactly are they going to do next? Because if this era is only just beginning, then we might be watching the start of something even bigger than a comeback. We might be watching BTS rebuild their legend in real time, and somehow Jin's face, voice, and presence are making that look way too effortless.